Washington swamp once and for all. And I never even knew the swamp was this bad. Swamp is bad. Bad people. A lot of bad people in the swamp. Bad people in the swamp. Yes, go ahead, Mike.
Well, in the category, you spoke about it, Mr. President, gun violence restraining orders. They're called. California actually has a version of this, and I think in your meeting with governors earlier this week, individually and as a group, we spoke about states taking steps. But the focus is to literally give families and give local law enforcement additional tools if an individual is reported to be a potential danger to themselves or others. Allow due process so no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court, obtain an order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession of that individual.
Or might take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
All this as the NRA continues to face heavy criticism from the mainstream media and those who want new gun laws, including media outlets that regularly get basic gun facts wrong. Dan Bongino is an NRA TV contributor.
Go through due process second.
I want to get your reaction to that, Dan.
Well, that's not what due process is. I'm a big supporter of the president. I think his heart's in the right place. But due process is not taking the firearms first and then going to court second. Now, having said that, Shannon, if it's a clear case, when I was a New York City cop, we had an emotionally disturbed person rule, the Baker Act they have in Florida, where if you're a danger to self or others, that's different. You can remove the weapons, but due process to permanently remove someone's constitutional right, listen, that's a big deal. Due process is going to court first, and I think we have to be clear on that. We still live in a constitutional republic.
The United States has to stop igniting the flames of hatred and bigotry and division in this country. We all bleed the same. We all defend this nation when it comes under attack. We are all Americans, not just you, Mr. Trump, and the people you want to vote for you. Represent us all. I don't believe any of what you said today. You have no legitimacy and you have no standing until you have your own personal self-examination.
President Trump today called the shootings a wicked attack. The president did not say he would support any new gun control laws. Ben Tracy's at the White House.
So we're going to see this really hasn't changed anything.
President Trump says he's committed to working with Congress on ways to prevent mass shootings, but would not say what, if any, gun reform he would actually back.
Mr. President, on gun control, are there any specific gun control measures you will support?
Yeah, we're looking at the same things. We're in the process of dealing with Democrats, Republicans. They've been working very hard on it.
After the El Paso and Dayton shootings that killed 31 people last month, Mr. Trump said he wanted tougher gun laws.
But we have to have meaningful background checks.
But after several discussions with the NRA, the president now says this.
For the most part, as strong as you make your background checks, they would not have stopped any of it. So it's a big problem. It's a mental problem. It's a big problem.
Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke, who is from Texas, says the explicit language he's now using about mass shootings is purposefully defiant.
We're averaging about 300 mass shootings a year. No other country comes close. So yes, this is up.
We don't even know what's coming at us. All we know is it's possibly the biggest.
The president is also focused on Hurricane Dorian. He visited FEMA today for a briefing. The hurricane is now a monster Category 5 storm forecast to run up the U.S. East Coast.
The Category 5 is something that I don't know that I've ever even heard the term, other than I know it's there. That's the ultimate, and that's what we have, unfortunately.
This is actually the fourth Category 5 hurricane while President Trump has been in office, including Hurricane Maria, which devastated Puerto Rico, and Michael, which hit Florida less than a year ago. David?
Thank you, Ben.
We got a lot of bad people in that swamp, those swamp creatures they call them. They are all over. But step by step, we got it. You thought this was going to be easy, right? A lot of bad people. With your help, we will lift millions of our citizens from welfare to work, dependence to independence, and from poverty to prosperity. That's what's happening in our country. Together, we will elect a Republican Congress to create a fair, safe, sane, and lawful system of immigration. That's what's happening now. We will enact trade deals, the greatest deals ever made, that result in more product proudly stamped with that beautiful phrase, made in the USA. Beautiful phrase. For decades, we had politicians that didn't care about that phrase. That phrase didn't mean anything to them. We will achieve new breakthroughs in science and medicine, finding new cures for childhood cancer, and ending the AIDS epidemic. Can you believe this? In America in 10 years or less. We've already started the process, and it could have been started sooner by the past administration. They chose not to do it. I chose to do it. Think of that. Ending the AIDS epidemic within 10 years that we've started. We will defend privacy, free speech, religious liberty, and the right to keep and bear arms, which is under siege. By the way, our Second Amendment is under siege. In Virginia, they want to take your guns away. It's just the beginning. Never going to happen as long as I'm President of the United States, that I can tell you. But above all, we will never stop fighting for the sacred values that bind us together as one American. We support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. We stand with the incredible heroes of law enforcement. We believe in the dignity of work and in the sanctity of life. We believe that faith and family, not government bureaucracy, are the true